Tuesday, the 2nd of March, 2021. Today's LF is to understand what a sin is and what salvation means. Let's recap on the Easter story. The following slides will be of the Easter story. Jesus arrived in Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. The people were happy to see Jesus and waved palm branches. Some important people were jealous of how much the people loved Jesus. Who do you think these important people are? Judas was one of Jesus' special friends. The important people gave Judas money to tell them where Jesus was so they could arrest him. Jesus had a special dinner called the Passover meal with his friends. This meal is now known as the Last Supper. Jesus gave his friends bread and wine. He then told them that one of them had turned against him. Jesus said that Peter would pretend he didn't know Jesus before the morning arrived and the cock crowed. Then Jesus went to pray in the Garden of Gethsemane. Judas told the important people where Jesus was. Jesus was arrested. Peter followed Jesus and waited outside where he was being held. Someone asked if he was Jesus' friend. Peter said he didn't know Jesus. Then the cock crowed. Peter remembered what Jesus had said and felt very sad. Pontius Pilate set Barabbas free instead of Jesus. The crowd wanted Jesus punished. Jesus had to carry a heavy cross through the streets of Jerusalem. Simon carried Jesus' cross to the hill. Jesus died on the cross. His friends and family were very sad. When Jesus died, the earth shook. The curtain in a special place called the temple was torn in two. Jesus' body was put into a tomb. A large, heavy stone was put in front of the entrance. On the third day, Mary and some of Jesus' other friends went to the tomb. Jesus' body wasn't there, and the stone had been rolled away. An angel told them that Jesus had risen from the dead. Jesus visited his friends before going to heaven. That's the story of the Easter story. On the next slide, we're going to look at the task that we have for today. Today's LF is to understand what a sin is and what the word salvation means. Our starter is to think back to the Easter story, which I've just read. What parts of the Easter story made you feel sad? And what parts of the Easter story made you feel happy? Pause this video now to have a think. I would like you to use conjunctions like because to explain why you think this. So for example, the part of the story where it's called a sad day, where Jesus was on the cross and he died, makes me feel very sad because I don't like it when people die, and I think this was a really sad thing for Jesus. But when Jesus was praying in the garden, this made me feel quite happy because Jesus was feeling hopeful. And I always think when I'm outside and I have a nice walk and I'm connected with nature, that makes me feel happy. What made you feel sad and what made you feel happy in the Easter story? What do you think Jesus was feeling in each part of the Easter story? Here is the timeline which we did last week. Think about each different part of the story and how Jesus would have felt in these parts of the story. Here is an emotion map at the side. Think about maybe Jesus felt different emotions other than happy and sad. Did he feel angry? Did he feel confused? Did he feel shocked? Talk to your adult or your carer or your brothers and sisters about this. What does the word sin mean? And what does the word salvation mean? Salvation. So salvation is a very important part of Christianity. Christians believe that Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross to make salvation possible for humans. Salvation is the act of keeping away from evil and saving from sin. Sin is the act that is against God's will and therefore is wrong. It might mean a bad choice. Pause this video and have a think. Maybe you can think of some sins that you think God may have been against and therefore would have been a sin. Today's task is to think about and write down a sentence about what could be a possible sin and how you could perform salvation. These will be on the assignment tab.